Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all thy sons command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
I invite you to receive these words of invocation. On this celebrated day of accomplishment, we are filled with gratitude, thankful for the land that has sustained us, thankful that our diverse paths have been brought together, thankful for the friends and family that have journeyed with us, for dedicated faculty and committed administration. As we step off this stage and into the rest of our lives, may our knowledge be coupled with wisdom that we might bring healing to the land. May we be filled with continued wonder and compassion that we might enrich the lives of those around us. Enable us to explore and embrace so that the whole of life, all of it, might experience reconciliation. In the gift of love we pray. Amen.
Please be seated. Mr. Chancellor, Mr. Vice Chancellor, members of the board, fellows and faculty and staff, families and friends, and graduands, welcome to the celebration of convocation at the University of Guelph. I'd also like to extend a special welcome this afternoon to our honorary degree recipient, George Koo, who I will introduce formally to you in a moment. I'm Maureen Mancuso, the Provost and the Vice President Academic, and I'm privileged to have the honor of opening this ceremony on behalf of the university. And I'd like to officially congratulate you, our graduands, on your momentous achievement. I hope you will join me in thanking the many people, family, friends, and mentors who have supported, encouraged, and assisted you in the pursuit of your studies. Come on, better than that, louder. Today, we mark the end of one chapter of your lives and the beginning of a new one. You made it here today through years of effort and hard work, and now it's time to turn towards other goals and new challenges of increasing complexity and impact. Your journey of learning did not begin here at Guelph, nor does it end here today. If anything, it builds upon your experiences of the last few years to become more arduous, more enlightening, more productive, and more fulfilling. You came here to develop the possibilities and resources of your own minds. You came here to change your lives, to devote some time to learning essential skills and acquiring knowledge, to challenge yourselves and extend your capabilities. Here, in our community of scholars, you had the freedom to learn about the world and to learn about yourself. We hope you learned a great deal about how you will fit into and affect the world. We hope you see your path more clearly and that you see how your contributions on that path can lead to a better world. We have tried to help you prepare by opening your eyes to ideas you might not have encountered, cultures of which you were unaware, perspectives that complement and sometimes contrast with your own. We have tried to help you to think critically, to reject simplistic answers to complex questions, and to refuse the empty satisfaction of half-truths and partial solutions. Ultimately, though, we have shared with you one fundamental lesson. There's always more to learn. It's now up to you to start applying that lesson and those skills. We send you forth as representatives of the University of Guelph, and we know that you will make us proud, and we hope you're proud to wear the Guelph name. As you probably noticed, even when you were first applying to universities, we eagerly call attention to the exploits of our graduates. Be one of those people whose accomplishments we trumpet. Be someone who makes a mark on the world, someone who demonstrates the power and the potential of higher education. Take this responsibility seriously, because to quote my favorite fake US president, the West Wing's Jed Bartlett, decisions are made by those who show up. So now I say to you, graduates, flush with the pride and powers of the finest education we know how to provide, show up. Show up in your own lives and live them critically, live them wisely. Show up in the lives of others, family, friends, and strangers, and make them better, directly or indirectly, however you can. Show up in the world, not just as pictures on Facebook, but as someone who makes a difference, even if that difference is harder to discern and doesn't go viral on YouTube. Most especially, show up as active, aware, and caring citizens of your country, your city, your world. And today that means voting in the provincial election tomorrow. Wherever your future leads you, please don't forget that even though you may no longer be on campus, you are still part of our community. Your association with Guelph, like your journey of learning, is lifelong. We hope you will feel welcome to return from time to time to share your accomplishments and experiences with your fellow alumni, your former professors, and the future students who will follow in your footsteps. And so once again, I bid you welcome, enjoy this ceremony, take pride in what it represents, and remember all of those who have helped to make this day possible. I offer you my personal congratulations and every best wish. Mr. Chancellor, on the recommendation of the Senate of the University of Guelph, it's my great privilege to present to you George D. Koo for the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa. Dr. George Koo has had a phenomenal impact on higher education and student success through his contributions as a teacher, a researcher, and a consultant. He is the Chancellor's Professor Emeritus of Higher Education and the founding director of the Center for Post-Secondary Research at Indiana University in Bloomington. He continues to actively engage in research and service and is as an adjunct professor of education policy at the University of Illinois. For more than 35 years, Dr. Koo's work has focused on various aspects of the assessment of student learning, institutional improvement, and university and college cultures. Currently, he directs the National Institute for Learning Outcomes Assessment. He directed the creation and the development of the innovative National Survey of Student Engagement. Some of you might recognize it as NSSE, which has been used by more than 1,400 colleges and universities in the United States and Canada. Thousands of faculty members and administrators and millions of students have benefited from his work on NSSE. The results have proven instrumental in helping universities identify and apply practices that best enable students to learn. He also was the founding director of the Strategic National Arts Alumni Project, which was the first in-depth exploration of the factors that influence the careers of graduates of arts-intensive training high schools and post-secondary institutions. Equally important, Dr. Koo's work has influenced the way people think and talk about what matters in a high-quality undergraduate experience. With more than 375 publications, he is a highly sought-after lecturer and advisor who has made several hundred presentations on a wide range of topics related to institutional improvement and student success. He has shared his expertise with many Canadian post-secondary institutions, including our own, which he has visited numerous occasions. For his achievements, Dr. Koo has received much recognition, including 8 other honorary degrees and awards from several universities and national organizations dedicated to the advancement of teaching and learning. Personally, I've learned so much from George about everything from assessment to learning outcomes to the value of a good sidecar. For his leadership and scholarship in elevating the discourse regarding how we think about learning and the design of university policies and practices to foster student success, George Koo is most deserving of a Doctor of Laws honoris causa from the University of Guelph. I now ask you, Mr. Chancellor, to confer upon George Koo the degree of Doctor of Laws honoris causa.
By the authority of the Senate of the University of Guelph, I admit you to the degree of Doctor of Laws. George, congratulations. Thank you. Dr. George Koo will now give the convocation address.
It's kind of cool to be up here, I'll tell you the truth. But members of the platform party, esteemed University of Guelph faculty and staff, of course, Maureen's already welcomed the parents, family, friends, but especially to those graduating today. It's a real treat to be back at Guelph with you today. I want to thank Chancellor Mirvish, President Summerly, Provost Mancuso for the honor you've bestowed. My father, if he were here, would be gobsmacked. And I don't know whether any of the graduates know what that means. I mean, I learned it myself. He wouldn't know who you were talking about, actually, Maureen, but mothers, God bless mothers. You know, my mother would have believed every word that she heard. It's great for me to be here at this particular ceremony because I'm an applied social scientist myself. Some of you out there may be standing here in 30 or 35 years. But I'm, all of what I have to say really is directed toward the class of 2014. But I harbor no illusions that this will be the highlight of your day. So, in fact, I have no recollection of who spoke at my baccalaureate ceremony or what was said. But what I do remember is that it was both exciting but bittersweet. Maybe some of you are feeling that now. Some of you, maybe later, will have such emotions. One moment, you're kind of looking around the corner trying to figure out what might be next. Some of you may actually know what's next. Some of you have actually no clue, but don't tell your parents that right now. And then other moments, you're looking back to see what you've accomplished, what's happened to you, how you're different now than you were when you started. And so you've done some of this, and I suppose you've also begun to say these goodbyes to people who have made your time here at Guelph special. So whatever's next, as Maureen said, whether it's a job, grad school, volunteer work, travel, more of the same, something else, whatever steps you'll take next, you'll all face some similar choices, challenges, opportunities. And so I want to, for the graduates today, offer 5 wishes. And actually the first is more of a prediction than a wish. In fact, Maureen's already nailed it. You don't have much choice. The first is you've got to spend the rest of your life learning or you won't have much of a life. That's just the deal today. It's not what you want to hear after finishing the last set of papers and exams. And so not to disappoint, but the exams that really matter are going to start tomorrow, unless you're going on to postgraduate study. But the exams I'm talking about, they won't have more or less straightforward or correct answers. But know this, that people will be grading you virtually every day, right? Your employer, your friends, your family, your partner, everybody's going to be watching how you perform, and soon you'll realize that knowing more every day trumps the facts. You may have tucked away. Facts are important, but in this world today, the dynamic, churning, rapidly changing global economy, you got to continually add to what you know and can do. And you've heard this probably, with the new information doubling every 18 months. But here's the staggering thing to me, anyway, that the typical person, you, those of you sitting in the dark robes, you're going to have 10 to 15 different jobs, probably if you're graduating at you're 21, 22, 23 now. By age 36, you're going to have 10 to 15 different jobs. That's not a lifetime of working. That's mid-career. It's something that most of us on this platform really don't have any idea or experience. You're going to be doing, most of you are going to do work in the future that doesn't exist today. So indispensable are qualities, right, such as flexibility and adaptability. Charles Darwin knew this a long time ago. He said, it's not the strongest of the species that survives, or even the most intelligent, it's the one that best responds to change. So you're going to have to reinvent yourself, your job many times, keep learning, and get better at it. So my second hope for you today is that you be a truth teller. A truth teller. For 40 years, a guy by the name of Jack Valenti headed the Motion Picture Association in the United States, had to be one of the most cutthroat of American industries. Yet Valenti had staying power because he apparently followed his own advice. He lived by 3 rules. First, play above the table, don't lie, cheat, or steal. Second, he said to himself, never desert a friend in need. And third, always keep your word. Always. For years, I pounded away most mornings on a treadmill at home, and in my line of vision was a bulletin board with big block letters saying, don't compromise yourself, you're all you've got. So I hope you'll be a truth teller. We need more such people. My generation has not been especially good role models in this regard, and we need you to do better for all of us. My third hope, and if you're counting, I'm halfway through now, right, 5. My third hope is that you will make sustainability a priority. Our planet's in trouble. The proximal causes are debatable, but every informed, clear-minded person I know, after looking at the evidence, agrees something needs to be done. But today, I want to mention just very briefly 2 other important forms of sustainability. The first is to sustain yourself, to take care of your body, mind, and spirit. It takes a lot of discipline to balance these aspects of our lives. When one's out of whack, performance in other areas usually suffers. And you don't need my word on this. You can read the biography of any successful person in any area of human endeavor who performed at a high level over an extended period of time. Sooner or later, they figured out that they needed to take better care of themselves. And I hope you do it sooner. Another desperately needed form of sustainability is ensuring the vitality of institutions foundational to democracy, especially those that promote and foster civility and peace-seeking and peacekeeping. Wherever you go from here, there will be one or more organizations that need your time and energy. And the beauty of this exchange is that, and most of you have learned this already many, many times, working for the betterment of others makes you feel good about yourself. It's a great win-win, right? And so to my fourth wish, leave some footprints. Now, leaving footprints is kind of an odd thing to say after mentioning the precarious condition of our planet, but I mean it in a different way. Many people act as if wherever they go is akin to a camping trip, right? A kind of a temporary stop on the way somewhere else. They put down a few stakes, they're easy to pull up, and they move on. But people who think and act like transients impoverish the quality of their lives as well as their community and their workplace. They hedge on making commitments. They invest less of themselves. They take little or no responsibility for the well-being of others. And this is not how caring, respectful communities are built or democracies sustained. Digging a foundation at every stop is hard work. I mean, I've done it, and many here have done it. It requires, you got to invest yourselves psychologically in people and places you don't know very well. But as the folks sitting behind me and around and behind the graduates, parents, family, friends, they know, it gets a little easier as you get older. It's one of the benefits of getting older, I guess. One of the few, maybe, I don't know. But I know this, I'm confident that for each of you, years from now, when you're sitting by yourself, when you don't have people around you to tell you how wonderful you are, you're going to spend less time, maybe no time, thinking about how much money you're making or how famous you are or might be. Instead, you're going to wonder more often what good you're doing, about whether you're leaving footprints on your family, friends, neighbors, coworkers, footprints that make them and the world better. Indulge me for just another moment. Here's what one poet wrote about footprints. Some people come into our lives and quickly go. Some people move our souls to dance. They awaken us to new understanding with the passing whisper of their wisdom. Some people make the sky more beautiful to gaze upon. They stay in our lives for a while, leave footprints on our hearts, and we are never, ever the same. Who at Guelph has left footprints on your heart? Who's left deep footprints on your mind? Whose footprints helped shape who you are today and want to be tomorrow? My last wish for you is this. Find these important people in your life and tell them what they mean to you, and do it soon and do it often. My congratulations to the class of 2014. Be safe, stay engaged, live strong, do good work.
Thank you, George, for those wise and encouraging words. Well, the moment has arrived. Will members of the graduating class please stand? Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you these scholars who have fulfilled the statutory requirements laid down by the Senate of the University of Guelph that they may be admitted to their various and several degrees.
By the authority vested in me and the University of Guelph, I hereby accept you for admission to your various and several degrees with all the rights, privileges, and obligations appertaining thereto.
Will members of the graduating class please be seated?
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is John Smithers. I'm currently the Dean of the College of Social and Applied Human Sciences. Welcome today. We're about to begin presenting the scholars to you. I know there will be spontaneous expressions or sentiments of bewilderment, delight, surprise, anguish at the thoughts of what you spent. Never mind. There will, however, be an opportunity after we presented all of the students to you for a fulsome and combined round of applause. So we will celebrate them together at the end of the presentations. Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you these scholars from the College of Social and Applied Human Sciences that they may be admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Applied Science Honors Program. Lindsay Taylor Brown. Jennifer Petronella Birch. Claire Patricia Channing. Mary Elise Dan. Megan Klazina Elizabeth DeWard with distinction. Ashley Rose Fantuzzi with distinction. Heather Goodwin. Elena Ann Hartley. Jordan Hartley with distinction. Bronwyn Claire Herbert. Brittany Holtham. Nicole Catherine Conk with distinction. Christina Susan Mavis McDonald Lockhart. Coco Amelia May Mokia. Caitlin Joyce Mollenauer. Taylor Kristen Robertson. Haley Mariah Salvador. Nicole Yvette Wiley with distinction. Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you these scholars from the College of Social and Applied Human Science that they may be admitted to the degree Bachelor of Arts Honors Program. Susanna Asimovich. Anna Elizabeth Algernon Perez. Leslie Ansell. Christina Milka Absev. Erica Jade Bagasen. Alicia Marie Baldini. Karen Elizabeth Ball with distinction. Patricia Baptiste. Sarah Barbuto with distinction. Tania Barra with distinction. Corey Raymond Thomas Bertrand. Darcy Lee Brakey. Jennifer Elizabeth Brown. Marina Louise Brueggemann with distinction. Lindsay Amanda Bryant with distinction. Michaela Chapman. All good. Olivia Dorothy June Chessman. Carrie Ann Marilyn Cornwall. Stephanie Danielle Debus with distinction. Laura Marie De Pascal. Catherine Ann Doris. Cody Sherwood Eldridge. Caitlin Charlotte Ferguson with distinction. Lori A. Ferrari. Alexia Ferrero. Lauren Ferreira. April Melissa Fife. Brianne Michelle Gates with distinction. Laura Louise Gordon with distinction. Karina Greco. Haley Alexis Hagan. Cody William Hall. Megan Alyssa Hanneth. Emily Health and Green with distinction. Brandon Henderson with distinction. Hannah Patricia Hodgson. Elizabeth Homer. Patrick Horsinski. Lindsay Jennifer Hurst. Elizabeth Ann Infante with distinction. Haley Morgan Ingram. Alexandra Iwaninski. Kelly Rose Josephson. Katarzyna Koszeniak. Sarah Lang. Isabel Karen Lantieri with distinction. Caitlin Lee. Nicholas Lizotte. Jennifer Ann Lloyd. David Oscar Locurto. Jonathan Arland Lovett Barron. Ashley Ann Ludwig. Courtney Alyssa Lunt. Rachel Elizabeth Lazar. Lauren McDonald. Erin Jessica McLean with distinction. Nicole Faye McMahon with distinction. Brandon McTaggart with distinction. Saba Americani with distinction. Joshua Alexander Marin. Kyle Joseph William Murphy. Liam Edward Worthy Newman. Caitlin Ann O'Neill. Jessica Paquette. Katerina Panazza. Jordan Timothy Picken. Sarah Nicole Popovich. Jeffrey Pozobon. Zoe Katerina Prejuano. Joseph James Redican. Jillian Kelsey Reynolds. Melissa Richa with distinction. Amy Elizabeth Rose. Patrick John Ryan. Joanna Edith Salzberg with distinction. Thanks. Samantha Jillian Shirley. Jacqueline Florence Sills. Devon Smith. Daniela Cassandra Spagnolo. Taylor Emily Speed. Nathan Andrew Stewart with distinction. Nicole Mary Stiver. Sarah Elise Suti with distinction. Daniel Cameron Thurston. Christina Elena Traverso. Ellie Ruthann Vinskis. Dylan Bradley Warford. Jessica Ann White. Sarah Jane Olnick Wood. Vanessa Woon Sam. Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you these scholars from the College of Social and Applied Human Sciences that they may be admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Arts General Program. Riley Boyko. Taylor Bubelis. Victoria Louise Bucknell. Madison Burton. Mark Brendan Conway. Ryan Christopher Cornford. Alexandra Margaret Colson. Justine Alyssa Deacon. Catherine Nicola Wren de Groot. Shannon Farrell. Alexandra Yvonne Faskin. Megan Courtney Goss. David Patrick Gowdy. Sarah Rose Haley. Cassandra Sarah Hopkins. Christopher Thomas Hines. Natasha Jones. Caitlin Diane Landry. Holly Louise McHale. Monir Ramani. Ashley Rajkumar. Emma Kathleen Roberton. Allison Christine Rock. Reed James Shuknek. Yannick Somji. Paulina T. This is a frighteningly well-behaved crowd. Madison Emily Wagner. Oh, see, there it was. Marta Vladarczyk. Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you these scholars from the College of Social and Applied Human Science that they may be admitted to the degree Bachelor of Science Honors Program. Kaylin Ilana Chin with distinction. Gabrielle Colangelo. Christina Grace Cyrus. Serena Daub. Rachel Iris Downey with distinction. And last but certainly not least, Matthew James Williamson with distinction. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been patient and well behaved. Please join me in congratulating these scholars.
How about you give it up one more time for the Dean, who did a great job with all your names. Mr. Chancellor, I would ask you to confer the various and several degrees on the graduates listed in the program, but unable to be present at this ceremony.
By virtue of the authority vested in me and in the University of Guelph, I confer the various and several degrees in absentia on the graduates not present.
Mr. Chancellor. So, you did it.
You actually finished. And what's more, you've got a piece of paper that says that you did. And so you are now graduates of the University of Guelph. You are now fully fledged Guelph Griffins. Just for a few moments, let's think about what, as you stride away from here, you have to carry with you. Of course, you've got that piece of paper, but what does it mean to be a Griffin? Well, of course, I hope you take away from here a great deal of knowledge. Not the precise information that you learned in your classes, for if truth to be told, probably most of that has already evaporated. What I hope is that you take away from here what it means to be a critical, aware citizen who cares. Someone who can actually use information to generate knowledge and wisdom, and then turn round and use that to care about the planet and the people around you. I trust that you are the kind of person that knows how to get things done. You are the kind of person who wants to change lives and improve life. But as you walk away from here, I want to give you some advice. And I have to confess now that George and I never talked to each other beforehand. But just to be one up on you, George, I'm going to give them 7 pieces of advice. 2 up, you're right. They're part of the Griffin Code. Things that I hope will help you make a difference in your own lives and the difference in other people's. All of these words begin with the letter L. And I hope that they will help define you, and perhaps more importantly, you will use them on days when you feel less confident. Because I can assure you that no matter who we are, how successful we may appear to be, we all have moments when doubts creep in, moments when we wonder whether it's worth it. So here are the 7 L's. Number 1, live. Live your life to the fullest, every single moment of it. Push yourself to do something new. Try everything just once. You'll never know whether you like it or not until you really try it. And in doing so, you might discover something very interesting about yourself, or at least you'll have a funny story to tell your friends about the ridiculous thing that you tried to do. So live. The second is laugh. Laugh at yourself and others. Nothing should ever be too serious not to find something to laugh about. When I first started to work in the refugee camps in Kenya, I was really puzzled. Despite the fact that these people have absolutely nothing, and in many cases I was gazing into the faces that were really a facade, hiding deep and unimaginable sadness and tragedy. These people laugh. Why? Why would they do that? And then I realized they laugh in the face of adversity to chase away the gloom and to defy despair. They laugh to make their own lives better and the lives of the people around them. So live, laugh, and the third is learn. Never, never stop learning. Only by being alert to the changing world around you, by being flexible and alive to possibilities, and taking the time really to learn about a situation, will you be able to live a life that is full of possibilities, change, and hope for the future. So live, laugh, learn, listen. Only by truly listening to others will you really understand what's going on in the world.
but don't just listen to them. Listen to your heart. Deep down, all of us have a voice, a moral compass, a sense of what is right or wrong, what makes us happy or sad. Listen to that heart and work tirelessly to hear the beatings of its rhythm and the pulse of others, to know how to act with courage and commitment. Live, laugh, learn, listen, and leave. Know when it is time to go, time to move on and leave others behind to take up the cudgels of what you've been doing. Have confidence that the footprints you leave behind will make a difference because you have done a good job. Those prints will be an indelible mark on the lives of others, and the shifting sands of time will not wash them away, but create a permanent memento of what you have done, what you have achieved, but through the lives of others. Live, laugh, learn, listen, leave, and then something we all need: luck. All of us require that special bit of magic to see and seize the opportunities, to be on the lookout for them. Actually, they happen all the time, but they're often disguised. Jefferson once said, opportunities, I think that's his word for luck, usually come dressed in overalls. It was his way of saying, you really have to put effort into your life to create the luck that you need. Live, laugh, learn, listen, leave, luck. And I'm going to leave the last L to a demonstration. I'm going to ask you to stand up and turn round and face the people who have shown the last L to you over the longest period, and give them a thunderous round of applause for what they have done for you. So stand up and turn round and applaud them. Okay, you can turn around and sit down. I don't know if you noticed, it's a really cool little behavioral experiment that I just did. When you stood up, some of you started to go like this, and there were responses like this from your family and friends, and then they got bigger and bigger until there were people going like this. It's amazing what we do to interact with each other. So now that you're a fully fledged Griffin, go out and take on that world, because we really do need you. In a world that is riven by injustice, that is challenged by dogma and prejudice and disadvantage, our absolute hope is in you. Do something. Do something. I don't care whether it is to take on the leadership of some of these incredibly challenging world issues, or actually to do something probably more important, more significant. And that is to decide today that every day for the rest of your lives, you will do something that improves the life of at least one other person. And how do you do that? Well, it's like that little experiment that I did. There is a very, very cool human behavior that happens. Only animal that does this. If you smile at another human being, no matter how miserable, fed up, grumpy, sad, depressed they are, you smile and keep smiling, they cannot help but smile back. Try it. Some of you are smiling now as you think about it. And in doing so, you change the mood, you lighten the load, and you make a difference to somebody else's life. Find ways to include people of all ages and stages, all genders and races, in everything that we do to make this a better planet. So, take your parchment, take your values and ideals, take your friendships that will last a lifetime, and armed with your Griffin code, get out of here. Those of us that are left behind will be watching you with great, great pride. But I have one favor that I need to ask. You represent the future, and I would really like a selfie of you so that I am included in your future. So just forgive me a moment, would you? After convocation, the Dean has arranged that there is a reception in the atrium of the Science Complex, and I really hope that you'll take the opportunity to attend. The weather, despite the grim prognostications of the soothsayers about the amount of rain today, seems to be holding, so I encourage you to take lots of pictures. Those are the mementos that you will bring back and talk about as you reunite as alumni. In a couple of weeks' time, we're having alumni come back to celebrate 10, 20, 50, and in fact this year, even their 60th anniversary since graduating. And they all pull out their photographs and say, haven't changed a bit. And what you'll be able to do is to say, did I really have such ridiculously long hair that got in the way of the hood when it was put on? Or, I used to have hair in those days. Or, did I actually wear those ridiculously high-heeled shoes to walk across the stage? And I don't know what the majority of you will be saying, because I'm talking about the 6 or 7 boys that went across the stage just now. Take lots of pictures. They will mean a lot. Please, though, remember to return your gowns, either in the tent behind Memorial Hall here, or you can return them in the Science Complex. And I have one more favor to ask of you. We're doing 20 of these ceremonies this week, and that means that there is a host of people waiting outside in that direction, wanting to get into the hall. So in order to preserve the future and that you should not be crushed as they rush in to take the best seats, after the platform party has left, can I ask you to go out by the 2 doors on the side here as quickly as possible so that they can come in? It's sort of our version of Disney. I celebrate and salute your successes, and I wish you every success in the future. Thank you.
Convocation is dismissed.